Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 135. On today's episode, we're going to be giving you our post-match reaction to Barcelona's game today. Barcelona won 3-0 at home, and we're also going to give you our reaction to both Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and the Spotify Camp Nou. All three, we said goodbye. We said our farewells. But guys, remember, I post a link on Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast 10. Anytime you guys ever want to join and give your thoughts and discussions, always feel free and welcome to. But let me introduce my co-host for tonight, Alex.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right, Alex, Barcelona won 3-0 today at home against Mallorca. A brace from Ansu Fati, an amazing goal from Gavi. The only negative on today's game was, of course, Balde got injured. Yeah, Balde got injured. He's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks. We wish him a speedy recovery. But overall, I thought that the match today from Barcelona was absolutely perfect. We got the clean sheet. We were able to send off both Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and the Camp Nou in a very good way. Filled up crowd, good emotions with a victory. But Alex, what were your thoughts on the game? And then we'll talk on both the players and the stadium as a whole.
So, like you say, it was a very convincing win today. 3-0, great scoreline. And most importantly, it's what you said. It was a good sending off to two legends of the club and two legends of football. Their last home game for the club. It was a proper send off, and I thought it was beautiful. The way it all went down. I think the season, for the most part, for those players that have retired, it's been a proper send off. It's been ending on a high note. Winning the league, and all the accolades that come with it. But yeah, I thought it was a good game overall. I would give it probably like an 8.5 or a 9 actually. I can't. It's hard for me to give 10 out of 10s because that's reserved for maybe a higher stake game or something like that. But I will say I was very surprised today with Ansu Fati's performance. I thought it was phenomenal, and
it was a very good performance from Ansu Fati. Mm-hmm. And this performance from Ansu Fati can only help us either if we want to sell him or keep him, because if we want to sell him, he got a brace, it shows there's still a quality player in there. And if we want to keep him, the brace, it just adds to his confidence. But overall, it was very good to see Ansu Fati get on the score sheet.
That's a very nice picture to see there. Two legends and. Well, three club legends.
Yeah.
Say, right? Because Sergio Roberto, I know we don't always give him the highest praise, but he's been important for us, and he's had important moments in his career that have really helped the team. La remontada, the run, and Messi's goal in El Clásico against Madrid in El Clásico in the last minute.
And now he's going to be Barcelona's first choice captain. Imagine that. He's going to be Barcelona's captain, Sergio Roberto.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know he's not going to be getting a lot of playtime next season unless there's injuries or, it's just going to be unless there's injuries. He's not going to get a lot of playtime, but decent rotation player to have around if need be. And, you got to put respect where respect is due.
Yeah.
And, he's a player that's played at the club for a long time. And although not the best, he's appreciated. But going back to the performances I saw today, I was delighted, like you said, to see what Ansu Fati did. I thought today was a much-needed game for him to get on the score sheet like that and to, maybe start getting back his form. I think it's also good that the season is ending because that gives him time to reflect, to just train, focus on improving himself and getting out of this slump. And more than that, I also really liked how, not only how he scored, but I thought that he was much sharper on the ball and was playing better with the team, because we've seen in other games that, especially when he's coming off the bench, he's had chances, but he's either missed or just been making poor decisions, has given the ball away, has made dumb passes. But I thought today he had a very well-rounded game. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we saw he was clinical today. Which is always great to see from the player you gave in the number 10 to, especially considering he's a Barcelona player. That's a very big number to have, and
it's a big number to have. We'll definitely see if he's going to be keeping that number. For example, if Messi comes, I doubt it that Ansu Fati is going to be keeping that number. But and Ansu Fati had a very good performance. So the number 10 weighs very heavily. But I thought today was just it was the overall vibes. It was very good to see.
Yeah, and of course we saw in the midfield today. We actually saw, given that most of our starters were there, I would say like most of our starters were in the team today. A few exceptions on defense and on the wing, of course, Ansu Fati. But I thought today was a pretty solid game in the midfield too. I mean, Gabi had a great game, to be honest. I think he also got an assist today, right? Or am I
Gavi. Let me see. I believe it was Lewandowski who.
Because I know Lewandowski assisted, but
Yeah. Yeah. It was Gavi. Yeah, for the first goal.
right. So a
But
goal
but
and
this,
assist, yeah, it's
exactly,
a phenomenal game for him.
phenomenal game.
And defensively, unfortunately, we did see Alejandro Valde get injured today. I believe it was a torn ligament or something in his ankles. I think
Yeah, it
it
was
was
a torn ligament in his ankle. He's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks.
yeah,
But we're gonna have to be careful with him because he
exactly.
is a player who relies on his athleticism and pace, and we're gonna have to be very careful with
Yeah.
him for next
And
season.
he's a player that we rely on. We've
Exactly,
seen
he's
how
a straight
important
left
he's
back.
been. And listen, he's one of those players that he's great at when it comes to athleticism. Like he's a very athletic player, but he's also a player that has IQ, right? We've seen the runs he makes. We see how he makes smart decisions on the ball. He overlaps when we need him to, and he always tracks back. I know it's been a criticism we had of Jordi Alba, especially in his last few years, that he doesn't defend well. And I think with Balde, we're getting the best of both worlds. He's not the best defensive left back, right? But he's doing a great job at it, and it's going to be a shame to see him gone. However, that's a very nice picture to look at there.
Yeah,
Um,
just it's so amazing.
Yeah, and but however, I think it's good. The bright side of it all is that it's at the end of the season. He has no more games to play. I mean, there's only one more game, but it doesn't matter either way. And he's gonna have all this time to just get back healthy. He's not gonna have the stress of, hey, I gotta show up for my team. I mean, obviously, we've seen that Barcelona have had some questionable decisions with their players' recovery, mainly Dembele, and we've seen that players have taken long to come back from injury, but nonetheless, I think it's great that the only good thing about this is that he's going to have time now to just focus on that and get back healthy. But yeah, talking outside of that, I thought today the defense was solid. I mean, no goals conceded. Very important thing, Ter Stegen tied the all-time clean sheet record for the top 5 leagues.
He did. It was very good to see that. We would have liked to break the record, but
but we can still break it next game, right?
I think so. Yeah, Barcelona's next game is against Celta de Vigo away from home, but it's against Celta de Vigo away from home.
And we would have liked to have broken that at home. That would have been another reason to celebrate. But regardless, I think we can easily get the clean sheet.
We can.
I mean, that's one of those games where I'd say don't even bother winning, just tie. Go for like a 0-0 type, but
a 0-0. I completely agree. We would like to win, but the most important thing is to get that clean sheet. But now moving away from the game, as you said, it was a good game. Nothing too much that we can take away from it. But today we have said goodbye to the Camp Nou. Renovations are going to be happening at the Camp Nou. We are not going to be playing in this stadium until 2025, basically. We're going to be gone away from the stadium. Renovations are going to be happening, and we're not going to be back here. It's estimated until like November of 2025. And we know how this stadium has been home to like some spectacular memories of Remontada, the 5-0 win against Real Madrid. We had some spectacular nights in the Camp Nou, and we have said goodbye to this iconic stadium. And we're going to be renovating it. Barcelona plans to be increasing its capacity, increasing it in general, and just be making it like modern. Let me see if I can find a picture of what it's going to look like in the future. But the stadium is going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the world. That's the plan that Xavi and Laporta, well, basically Barcelona, plan to do. Let me see if I can find it. But Alex, what were your thoughts today on both like Jordi Alba's Busquets and the stadium's like farewell, like the whole
I
ceremony.
thought it was a beautiful ceremony. You know, it's players like that deserve all the praise in the world and all the respect from their fans. And I think today they got just that. And it was extremely nice to see. You know, I've been watching these players since I was a little kid, especially Busquets was even older. So it was. I didn't get emotional, but it was an emotional moment. You know, it was very nostalgic for me. But yeah, I thought it was a proper send up, and it was a very nice thing to see. Hopefully, you know, we can get the same treatment for Messi next season, God willing. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. And
No, yeah,
that's a gorgeous picture.
yeah.
It's actually insane because, you know, I think Barca is the highest capacity stadium in the world, if not one of the highest.
Yeah, it's one of the highest capacity stadiums in the world.
The fact that it's going to even increase is insane to me.
The Maracanã in Brazil, that one I think is like 100,000 or a little bit more, and that is bigger than the Camp Nou. But these are the pictures of the stadium. This is how it's going to be looking like.
It kind of looks like the. No, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of the you know the UCL commercials, like the Star Stadium.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the way it's enclosed.
Mm-hmm. But this is how it's going to be looking like with that roof, and I think this is just going to be amazing. Imagine the atmosphere and the noise and just like everything being held in and compressed. It's going to be absolutely amazing to be living one of the nights in those stadiums. But the Camp Nou is going to be renovated. It's going to be much needed. It's going to be very nice to see that. And today it was basically a party at the Camp Nou. Barcelona celebrated Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets' final game at the Camp Nou, and we also said farewell to the Spotify Camp Nou. We will be playing in a different stadium next season. But Alex, any final thoughts before we round off the episode?
I mean, no, there's nothing much for me to say. I was very pleased with the performance today. It was a very nice send-off once again for Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets, club legends, football legends. And yeah, you know, I'm a little worried about Alejandro Valde. But again, God willing, everything goes well and he can have a speedy recovery. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. You know, it's out of our hands now. But again, I think it was one of the best endings we could have given to our home season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just gotta look forward to the last game next Sunday, and we're closing off on a nice season. And of course, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for the new Camp Nou, so to speak.
Yeah, I completely agree. But guys, that was it for tonight's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Guys, remember, as always, I post a link on Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast 10. Just click on the link and then you'll be able to join, give your thoughts and discussions. Also, remember that we post our long episodes on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to tune into that if you like to listen in the podcast format. Guys, remember, follow us on the social media platforms. All of them are at Kool-Aid Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure to follow us on there and like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys all on the next